Hey everybody, welcome back to Papa's Custom Cars. We're back on the panel. I got some close-ups. I'll just flash them on the screen for you real quick so you can see what kind of things happen as you're learning to weld. We've got a lot of little teeny tiny pinholes left over that we still have to go through and close up. So we'll work on that. We also need to secure this end down here. It is not even, it's sitting away from that panel, so we're going to have to go back through and weld that back in. I've got a couple of places here where it was welded, so I just need to get in there, clean it up a little bit, and go back in there. And then, of course, just finish filling all these holes, grind it out, prime it, and then we can start on the other side. Get that just cleaned up. That's all we're going to do there. Shoot the whole thing with primer, and then attack these frame rails. Hopefully, we can get most of most of this, at least this side today, because I'd like to get the whole control arm assembly off and everything out so that we can put all the nice new shiny stuff on. So let's get to it. Today we're also using our new 6K recorder, so I'm hoping that this all turns out. I'm going to run a real short video here and then go check it and make sure, but definitely a new camera on the horizon for me, which is finally nice to see. Once I see how well it works, I'll definitely give you guys a review on it. So I'm going to try to lower down the settings a little bit more and see if I can put so much heat into this panel. It seems like there's a lot of heat going into the panel, and that might be half the problem, is all that heat. We'll give that a shot, can't hurt. So let's put it back. These teeny tiny little pinholes. To hammer this down a little bit so I can get it flat, because it's not laying flat at all. Over here it's nice though. Still got some work to do with that hole. That one looks good. This one looks good. I may end up skim coating this. I haven't decided yet. It's kind of as you go, you know. Figure it out as you go. As a new welder, you're going to find yourself gunking this whole thing all up.
A few moments later.
Okay, all cleaned up and ready to go. So, grab my... Curious if I can get down. This hole is too far away, judging from what I'm seeing. What happened is when I welded down here and it tightened up, this moved away because it bows out a little bit here. And then when this got heated up and welded in, this whole thing, as you can see, got kind of flimsy on me. Because there's a big hole here and a big hole right here. So, yeah, there's the VIN number there, there's the VIN number here. So there's a big hole right there and a big hole right there. So this whole area came loose. And that was probably because of the heat, I'm sure. So worst case, we'll just drill a few more holes here, and then we'll just tack in the holes just like we did the other side. So let me grab my drill and a drill bit. And drill bit. That's pretty good. So that should do everything, of course, right there. So, leave the drill right there just in case, but I think we can do it like that. So I went to do the first couple of them and it just wasn't taken. So I just went ahead and started stitch welding this in, kind of like you do with any other panel, mainly because it's just not grabbing hold of the metal behind it. So I'm just going to run the stitch weld up the edge here, and as you see, it's already starting to take shape. And it looks like up in this area up here, I'm going to have to do the same right through here, because it doesn't want to take. Kind of a crude way of doing it, but it works. And like I said, this will all be covered in seam sealer anyway, but I want to make sure that it's definitely on there good and I don't have to worry about it. So back to it. Normally the easiest way to do this, or the best way to do this, is hit it with a spot, hit it with air, hit it with spot, hit it with air. But again, this panel isn't going to be visible at all, so it doesn't have to be pretty, just with height. See, as it heated up here, this came off. So I'm going to have to, yeah, looks like I'm going to have to stitch weld most of this, because as I fill these holes and it warms up, it's pulling this off. At least we're solid here again. Got to do a couple more right in this area, but I have to pound it in first. So the last spot I've got to do is this one down in here. I want to let this cool a little bit before we come back to it, because I don't want this moving again. I'm going to actually try to get it to move back towards this edge here, because it's still a little bit off of here. This is all stitched on real nice. Up in here, stitched real nice. Yeah, don't touch it, it's hot. So the only thing we got to do is finish this area down here. But like I said, I want this to cool and relax a little bit before we attack it. I want to just go hog wild on it. Like I say, these edges are going to be seam sealed, so it doesn't matter what they look like as far as, you know, I don't have to have a perfect weld through here. Normally on a body panel, you would cut it in and make sure that this is lying flush with it, and then stitch weld the whole thing. But because this is multi-paneled and it's on the inside, I'm not even worried about it. The fender actually comes to about here, so you really don't see anything, you know, past this bolt. You don't see anything over in this area. This is all in the wheel well itself. But yeah, we want to stitch weld this down here, because this is still not quite, well, you know what it is, it's right up against it. So we need a few more in this area here. But down here, we're tight. I mean, I got a big old weld down here. And we got a couple little holes that we need to fill. Along here, we're okay. Along here, we're okay. Little tiny one there. Okay. Big one here, little one here, little. Here's a big one I haven't filled. Here's a small one. So yeah, a little bit of cleanup work, but we'll get it done. I say, you know, us beginning welders, it's going to take you some time to get used to it. And again, this is a new machine. This is the first panel I'm actually welding with it. I tried to practice a little bit on the table, and it's just a different situation when you're on the car than you are on the table. But yeah, we'll stitch this in anywhere where it's not laying flat. We'll stitch it in. That way it lays flat. We'll relieve a little bit of the stress with the hammer. And that way we know that when we weld down here, it's not going to pop off up in here or something like some crazy thing like that. So then we'll just grind it up and then call it done. So let's get back to it. And again, you welders out there, how do you keep the glare from coming in through the top of your helmet? It seems to be the main problem with me. I'm looking and I see the glare from the light. Maybe that's where a hat would come in.
Everybody's chasing fast, they wanna be that someone on the screen at last. They ain't looking inside for their needs in life. They wanna be liked by everybody in sight. But trust me, being free ain't spotlights. No, it's long nights and it's long fights with yourself all the time to get your mind right. But if you put in the work, you can find the light, alright? I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight, just always staying on the move. I'll go all night if that's just what I got. Life's too short to care about what you can't afford. Memories are in what you explore.
That should be good. All these little edges, there's tiny little holes on some of these edges where the welds were. Where I welded it, but it was a giant hole, so I only got a little portion of it welded. It's covered with seam sealer. This edge will probably be, half inch wide, half on both sides. So like I say, this won't matter. So put away the welding gear. Let's get our grinder out and let's get to work. Okay, be back in just a little bit. I gotta fire up the air compressor and a few other things and get going on this. So I'll be right back. All right, let's get this thing ground up and cleaned up. Move on to the other side. I'm pretty much done with everything we're going to do here. Just need to clean up these welds a little bit. And then we can seam seal it and be done with it. Probably not going to seam seal it till I finish cleaning the other side. Then we'll seam seal it up. I'm also going to remove all the seam sealer from over there and put all new stuff in. So let's get to it. So I'm cleaning up these edges so that it's ready for seam sealer. Running off this is weld through primer, so we're okay there. Okay. Well, it's late enough. I'm gonna go take a shower, go to bed. Come back and attack the rest of this tomorrow. It's cleaning up pretty good, so shouldn't be an issue. Gotta put some grubbies on because this is still all oily and greasy, and then start finishing up the rest of this. Like I said, I'm going to grind out all the seam sealer that's here, because most of it's all hard and crusty. As you see, it's just kind of coming apart. That way we can get everything prepped and ready to go. Gotta put our gas cutter out of here. Definitely don't need that right now. But with that, I'll see you in the morning. For me it'll be in the morning, for you it'll be about 2 seconds. So I'll see you then.
the next day.
So seam sealer comes in a bunch of different variations. You can get it in a can and scoop it out. I think Vice-Grip Garage just did one on a Nova last week where it was the can of seam sealer. Or you can get the tubes, which is what I usually get. It's just easier to store it. The one thing I do like is the ability to order more nozzles, so you don't have to worry about using it up and then not having it. This particular one I did not put the nozzle on it because they didn't come with them, so it's going to be interesting. If you hear there's a ball in them that shake up, same with over here, and that's kind of how you know that it's still worth doing. This particular one, I don't know if it's any good yet, but we're going to find out in about 2 seconds here, because I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to shake it. Oop. Get it all the way out of there. So as you can hear, the ball is not moving anymore. So that tells me this is probably a bad one. Or it all went dry already, because it's been a little bit since I've used it. Oh, you know what? I forgot there's a little tiny ball in here also that holds it back. So let's see how well that worked. Make sure that this is still pliable. Screwdriver. And it is hard as a rock. So, yeah, looks to be like a one-use thing. And no matter how deep I dig, it's hard as a rock. So this one's definitely toast. So good thing I got a second one. But imagine there's probably a better way to seal these up. Maybe get a cap or something of that nature. And this is where that can stuff works real well. Just get you a little spatula or something and take it out of the can with that. So this one's toast. And it's really bad because I had about that much left in it. So definitely a waste of money. So as I said, on this one, it comes with a new tube. It comes with the new nozzle. So, and it's already cut open. This is the real thin one. I was using that for, like, I've got the one where you fill the body mount. This works great for that. I don't need to evidently keep this one. The little ball didn't seem to make a bit of difference in there, so it may be also to slow the flow or something of that nature, but yeah, for our case it didn't matter. Now there's a couple areas we're going to basically wipe it on here. We're not going to go crazy like they did at the factory because we just don't have to. I am going to open this up a little bit more because I want to get a little bit thicker bead on that than is there now. And then also I've got to pull this little cap out of here, so let's get everything ready to go. And again, shake it well like it says on the instructions. Prep for prime surface, clean surface with a VOC compliant cleaner. And do wear something on your hands. This stuff is nasty. And the last thing you have to do is on the back of it, is open the little tab on the bottom. So look, the little tab on the bottom, you gotta open that up. Tell me in the comments if you know what this little wood ball's for. Might be to slow down the liquid, who knows. So again, let's get all this stuff out of the way so we can go to work. Now what I'm going to do is run just a bead along the edge, and then with the gloved hand, that's where you go back and it's okay to use a nice generous bead. Block you for just a second here. You can sand this stuff when you're done, so. this open just a little bit more, so I need it wider.
Sometimes I just wanna be a hater. Gotta wash down the top 40s with a chaser. Your voice starts feeling like a waiter, scraping my mind against the cheese grater. Before you go, sir, you have to sign a waiver. That's alright, I'm aware of the danger. You wanna get away, you better get in line.
It gets tacky fast. Don't mess around, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, the minute it's on there, it starts hardening up quick. Hence why it was no good in the container anymore. All right, so we can move over a little bit.
Won't go another day of wasting any time. I've got a lot to say, can't hold it in this time. Got no filter, I got no filter. No filter, I got no filter. No filter, I got no filter. No filter, I got no filter.
And there are holes here. I don't know why. I didn't take anything off of them, but we're going to go ahead and squirt it in them so that we know that we're covered. We can always sand this off here in a minute. I think there was a relay here for the seatbelt thing, and we don't need that. We don't need that where we're going. Make sure I got all the seams covered. So yeah, that's it. It's done. We'll come back later on, clean up the little strands and stuff that you see. But that took about half of the tube. So.
No filter, I got no filter.
Okay, so like I said, I went through and I pushed the little tiny holes that are around. I pushed it into those little tiny holes. The hole down here in the bottom, I don't know what it's for, but I'm going to go ahead and blow it out, and I'm going to put a grommet in it, and I'm going to run this cable through the body. This is the 1 gauge that comes from the battery, and I'm going to come out that hole. That'll put me right where the battery's at, and I won't have this wire hanging underneath the car anymore. So that'll be a nice place to put that. Looks like I've got the seam sealer everywhere that I took it off. So once this stuff dries, we're good to go. I do see a big old hole right there that we need to fill. That might be why they just gooped it up on this thing. Put it into the hole and just squirted it in there. Make sure I don't see anything else. That I don't know what it's for. I think that's for the coil. Don't quote me on it. If it's not, I'll weld it up later. So with that, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Every additional subscriber I get helps my channel, helps me do projects like this, but it's nice to get back on this thing. It'll be nice to have this all dried. We'll shoot primer on it, and then we'll start attacking this side rail, cleaning and changing all the parts out, and then just start moving our way over to the other side. The other side is going to be a little more intensive because of the steering box and all that kind of fun stuff, but this will definitely get us started. So with that, like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.